everyone, welcome back to The Current. We're doing things a little bit differently this year by focusing on minis. Here's the first one from the first week of school.
Wow, that's not how one wants to start school. Welcome back everyone to another year of The Current. We were supposed to start last Friday, but as everyone knows, Typhoon Sala came roaring in instead. All schools in Hong Kong were closed, and everything was shut down while it raced through. That's right, we finally got a direct hit. Not since Typhoon Mangkhut in 2018 has Hong Kong been hit with such a strong typhoon. And that was the topic of our very first Current Mini. See?
Trees everywhere. Typhoon Mangkhut.
Sala wasn't as bad as Mangkhut, but there are still scenes of chaos everywhere. With flooding happening in some places, trees being down in others, cranes on construction sites spinning in circles, and stupid people out for adventure, and silly fun. Just stay inside. Sheesh. Some people calling scenes from the past try to add drama. But children walking through a shot kinda spoil that. Anyhow, the weather's clear now. Life is back to normal. And we're looking forward to another great year of The Current. Keep watching.
Big shocker! The weather was just getting started. A week later, we had another day off.
Wow, were we wrong? In our last episode about Typhoon Sala, we ended saying,
The weather's clear now. Life is back to normal.
but then, only hours after posting, a huge torrential amount of rain hit Hong Kong and there was crazy flooding like almost never seen in Hong Kong. And school was cancelled again on Friday. So what happened? A tail of the typhoon after Sala suddenly dropped 158 millimeters of rain in 1 hour on Hong Kong and 600 millimeters in total over a 24-hour period. That's equivalent to a quarter of our average annual rainfall. It was the most ever since records began in 1884 and called a 1 in 500-year flood event. Wow, streets were flooded, as were shopping malls, MTR stations, in particular Wong Tai Si near Diamond Hill, which caused severe line disruption. Some streets basically became waterfalls. One unfortunate lady was caught for what must have been a terrifying ride. While some stuck in cars were rescued, one lady truly let her emotions be seen when her car was stalled in deep water. Look at her face. Who wouldn't smile being rescued by a handsome fireman? Others had to just ride out their misfortune. With a tiny wave, of course. While others did their best to find other ways to get around. There were landslides everywhere too. With one car even falling into a sinkhole. One landslide even revealed some illegal construction work. They're in trouble now. And hey, get this, even our school Ti was affected. You know how we normally come to school, right? Under the bridge, up into the entrance? That was totally flooded and impassable. And the river right by school was roaring. So what's going on with all this crazy weather? This summer was also extreme. It was the hottest ever on record in Hong Kong. Typhoons, floods, extreme heat. Can anyone say climate change? The craziest things are happening. What's next?
What was next was another day of last Thursday. As one anchor said, sheesh! 3 in a row? Our final mini from the first couple weeks of school was just last night. Take a look.
Seafood from Japan has been banned? Hold on. Don't freak out. It's not all seafood from Japan, just from certain areas. In 2011, a devastating tsunami hit Japan. The Fukushima nuclear power plant was severely damaged, leading to a radioactive meltdown. It was an extremely catastrophic event, and a lot of things were contaminated, not just the water. Now, however, after years of careful management and treatment, the Japanese government believes releasing the leftover contaminated water is the most viable solution. The reaction has been severe, and many people are protesting, even some Japanese. However, the story isn't that simple. Professionals and scientists claim that the wastewater, which supposedly only contains one radioactive element, tritium, is at such low levels that it should be safe. First, research has shown that tritium does not accumulate in the bodies of fish or people, like people fear. So it won't affect you, even if you take some in. It'll pass right through. Second, the best way to treat wastewater with tritium is to release it into the ocean to be diluted so much that it will basically disappear. You know what dilution is, right? If you pour water into juice, the juice gets weaker. Finally, while it is not standard practice, many countries already do this too, and at much greater levels than Japan. France, South Korea, China, and Canada all release way more. If everyone is doing it, why are we suddenly giving Japan such a hard time? Okay. Now, everything we just said is from the perspective of industry experts, scientists, and Japan itself. Why do people still oppose releasing this water? They say several things. First, that there might still be some other radioactive elements in the wastewater. They say that Japan says they removed everything but tritium, but they haven't provided the data to prove it. They think Japan is not being transparent enough to prove that the water is truly safe and in line with international standards. They also say you can compare the wastewater from different countries, because they might be treating wastewater differently. Finally, scientists on the other side insist that tritium is still radioactive and it can have an impact on the body, and that it can cause cancer and genetic damage. They say that scientific results are conflicting. How are we supposed to handle that? More research. Anyhow, right now, only China has totally banned seafood from Japan, and Hong Kong has banned seafood from 10 prefectures, saying they want to err on the side of caution and protect their citizens. Others that have expressed concerns, like South Korea and Taiwan, continue to buy Japanese seafood. What do you think? Which side of the argument do you fall on? Will you continue to eat seafood from Japan?
That's all for this episode of The Current. We'll keep making minis this year, in addition to a couple big special episodes. If you want to see everything first, follow us on Instagram, username TheCurrentTIC. See you next time. Bye!